Okay, I'm just trying to, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to the 9th grade information night. I'm going to go ahead and get started. So let me go ahead and share the presentation with you. Thank you everyone for your patience for coming in, and we'll just go ahead and get started while individuals come into the room. So welcome to the O family. We're so excited that you have joined us tonight. We're so excited your student is coming to Orange High School. And so we have a special welcome for our administration team. And I'll let them go ahead and introduce themselves.
Good evening, I'm Jason Johnson. I'm the principal here at the Orange High School, the only high school in Orange County. We are excited to welcome you to our virtual information night tonight. I hope you enjoy, but even if you don't get all of your information answered, all your questions answered tonight, please feel free to reach out to us here at Orange High School. At this time, I'm gonna turn it over to Ms. Williamson.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mrs. Williamson. I am one of the assistant principals here at Orange High School. I'm currently the 9th grade administrator for this year. We are so excited to see you tonight. So glad that you're here on the call and look forward to seeing you soon. And I'll turn it over to Mr. Young.
Hi, I am Mr. Young. I'm the Dean of Students, so I work with students across grades, but I found it particularly rewarding and productive to work with our 9th graders as they come in new to the building each year. And I'll turn it back over to Ms. Loss.
Yes, thank you so much. And Mr. Campbell is our 10th grade administrator. He works with our students in 10th grade. And then we also have Mrs. Metlin. She works with our 11th grade students. And we all welcome you to Orange High School, and hopefully you get a lot of information out of this tonight. Please don't feel overwhelmed. I know there will be a lot of information given to you tonight, but there is the newsletter that I'm going to share with you if I haven't already done that with you tonight. It's going to be on the chat box. We have the breakout rooms in there, and then also the registration newsletter that has a lot of information on there. So if you happen to forget this, we're going to record it so you can watch it online again if you choose to do so. And then also we have the registration website so you can find all that important information we're talking about tonight so you can digest it. You know, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. So welcome from the counseling team. So at Orange High School, we have 4 counselors. I'm Ms. Laws, the 9th grade school counselor. I'll be working with the 9th graders and helping them transition from middle to high school. And this is the first introduction, right? Right now we're doing the virtual meetings with students and families to introduce you to our school, and then also share information about our registration process. We have Mrs. Farrell, which is our counselor for 10th through 12th grade, and she's A through GL. We have Miss Scurry, she's counselor for GO through N, and then we also have a vacant counselor position. We also have a school social worker, Miss Brown, a career development coordinator, Mr. Montgomery, and then our college advisor, Mrs. Butner. At 6:30, we're going to go out to our breakout room. The breakout rooms link is in the chat box. So if you have a department specific question, please join the breakout rooms. They have presentations, and also that information will be embedded into the newsletter. So in case you're not able to join a breakout room, you can look at their information that is on that website. So academics at Orange High School. So one of those things that you're going to think about is that as you plan for your school time at Orange High School is 4 years, you're going to be thinking about taking honors level classes, AP classes, and our standard level classes. You guys should have already gotten recommendations from your middle school teachers, and those recommendations have went out. And sometimes most parents will ask, well, or students will ask, do I have to take all of those honor level classes? Well, if you're up for the challenge, if your student feels like they can handle the rigor of it and the demands of that and feels like that's something they want to do, by all means, we love for you to do that. But if you feel like, hey, I want to get my foot in the door in high school, I may want to take 1 or 2 in those strong areas I am, we definitely encourage you to consider that as well. So definitely making sure that if you're thinking about taking all those honor level classes, just really ask yourself, you know, am I playing sports, athletics, and making sure that you balance all those pieces together. Our honors level classes hold a 0.5 weight. So when you think about students that are getting, you know, 4.2s and 4.5s, you're like, how are they doing that? They're doing that because those students are taking honors level classes and AP classes and also college level classes. Those classes hold higher weights. And so therefore you're able to, you know, you're able to have a higher GPA. and that makes you more competitive when you're applying for colleges and the scholarships. One important thing to kind of keep in mind is that when you're taking a college level course at our Durham Tech or Alamance, and that will be your junior and senior year, is that you need a C or better to transfer to a college, to transfer to a college of your choice. Some of the private select colleges don't accept the CCP classes, so it really depends on where you're going, just to kind of keep that in mind. Also, I tell students, if you're thinking about, if you're thinking about taking the college level courses, think about freshman and sophomore year. Those 2 years are really important because that GPA from freshman to sophomore year is going to determine if you're eligible to take those classes your junior or senior year. And that means is that you have to have at least a minimum of a 2.8 GPA. So that means, and I know a lot of our freshman students are like, what's 2.8? That just really means a high C, but we definitely like for you to have a B or A average, because when you're taking those college level classes, you really have to be able to handle the rigor, and be able to be successful in those classes. So just kind of keep that in mind, that freshman, sophomore year, it really does count. It's really important. So really do encourage students to go to tutoring. We have plus lunch at Orange High School, which is an hour lunch where you can eat for 30 minutes. And then you have a 30 minutes for tutorials or clubs or other enrichments you have at Orange High School. So this is the big highlights of Orange High School. We have a lot of wonderful departments at Orange High School. So please, you have some teachers online, don't feel offended. But a lot of parents do ask about our ag department and our engineering academy. Just to make sure you join their breakout rooms if you have department-specific questions. But a couple of highlights is the FFA program at Orange High School. We do have Ag Day, and that's something that's really big at Orange High School. Unfortunately, we haven't had it the last 2 years because of COVID, but we're hoping to bring it back next year. Students really love that. They bring food, they bring to show their animals. It's really a fun time where Orange High School comes together, students, faculty, parents, and we really celebrate our Ag department and all the great accomplishments. They've won top awards in forestry, horse judging, public speaking, livestock judging, and creed speaking. And then moving on over to our engineering academy, Mrs. Angela Williams is our engineering academy coordinator. If you're interested in the program, it's very dynamic. It's very hands-on, outcome-based program. So if you're interested in that program, check it out. They have their own website. There's also a video that you can watch. And then also there's an application to apply for the academy. One cool thing I always share with parents about the engineering academy is that they currently have a contract set up with North Carolina Central to work with the professors on doing an outcome-based project. So that's really cool. If you think about your student in that program, the academy, and that maybe their junior, senior year, they'll be on the college campus and doing some really cool projects with the professors there. Our AVID program. So if you're interested in our AVID program, and I know currently at the middle school, they do have AVID. Well, when you get to high school, you have to apply for the program again if you choose to be in it. Or if you're not, have you never been in the AVID program, but you're interested in it, definitely check out the AVID, our AVID information on the newsletter. We have a video, and then it really just helps students that are first generation going to college. It helps you with planning for college, attending tours, helping with the application, getting all of that support, because it can be very overwhelming when you're thinking about college and applying. We have Miss Raquel Butner. She's our college advisor from Duke. She attended Duke University and she's awesome. She has a breakout room. If you're thinking about, hey, I want to take college level courses, what do you recommend I do my freshman, sophomore year? Definitely check out her room to get those questions answered as well. Mrs. Clancy Russell is our AVID teacher, and you can email her or reach out to her if you have any questions about the application. And I know that end of March is when the application is due for AVID. I believe the beginning of April is the application for our engineering academy. Those dates are on the newsletter just to kind of keep those in mind so you know that they're coming up pretty soon. So our college and career promise, and that was the college level classes I was talking about earlier in the presentation. Those are very important for our students and they love taking those classes. Most important thing is that freshman, sophomore year, like I mentioned earlier, is really important. So if you want to get college credits, right, while you're a high school student, it's very important that you really do well your freshman, sophomore year so you can have that opportunity to take those classes your junior or senior year. Those classes are free to all students. And then the cool thing is, I tell students is that when you take those classes your junior, senior year, when you get to college, you're ahead of all your peers. So you may be a year or 2 years ahead of your peers. That means you can graduate early, you can do a graduate program or a PhD program. So it's a really cool opportunity. If you feel like you're up for the rigor of that and you're interested in it, definitely make sure that you check out the information on the newsletter. Visitors at Orange High School, we have student services. We have a whole entire department. And the counseling department, we love working with students. Our doors are open. We have booking links for students to make appointments with us. We do career planning, academic planning, individual counseling, and those are short term. We also do have a school-based therapist that works with students long-term that are needing that additional support. We work with teachers, staff, parents, and we also provide lessons to the classroom as well. We also have Mrs. Butner, which is our Duke advisor. She helps with college planning. She'll do workshops with students on college access, college admission, financial aid. And then we also have Mr. Montgomery. If you're a student that's like, you know what, I kind of think I know what I want to do, I would definitely recommend that reach out to Mr. Montgomery. There's a career assessment he can have you complete, your student complete, and then he will sit down with you and that student and kind of go over what that would look like and how we can align classes up with those interests. I definitely, we also have, workshops on resume or jobs, because sometimes students in high school want to get a job, right? And so we have a lot of cool connections Mr. Montgomery does in our community with jobs, and not just the traditional jobs, but just some cool opportunities with businesses that we partner with, so your student can get that hands-on experience. Link Crew. So Link Crew is a awesome program that we have at Orange High School, and Link Crew is really set up to really support 9th grade students. They do a summer orientation in the summer for all of our students with fun activities, food, and information will be given on during that time. We also have our orientation. So students will learn about Orange High School, they'll take a tour, they'll get to meet other students. And then we have activities built throughout the year to help support students. And that is all kind of gone through our Link Crew as far as mentoring and helping those students out. The last couple of years, we haven't been able to do that just with COVID, but this year this next upcoming year, we're definitely looking back to getting back to some of those activities we have traditionally offered. So student life at Orange High School, we have a very active and fun student life at Orange High School. We have a barn out in our back. A lot of students, I've never been to a school that have had that before, but it's so cool. We have animals. We have students that bring animals that they take care of, and they take agriculture classes. So we have a lot of cool creative things at Orange High School that other schools don't have. So definitely it's a cool place to be. We also, besides, FFA and all those other activities, we also have robotics club. We have a lot of other clubs that you can support your interest for your student. I always tell students that when you're in high school, you want to make it a well-rounded experience. So when college admission representatives are looking at students, they definitely see the academics because of the transcript, but they also want to see the student is also engaged in their community. And when you think about it, when you're at school and you're participating in a club or activity or doing a sport, you're actually happier. The students that do participate in clubs or sports or activities such as that, they'll actually do better academically. So definitely check it out. We have a time built in with Plus Lunch for students to participate in clubs. We know it may be a challenge, before school or after school. So we do have that built in to our school day for students that are interested in that. These are just some of the clubs we have at Orange High School. We have Pause Forever, Mentors for Brilliance. We have Future Farmers of America. We have DECA, Key Club. There's an entire list of this. This is a very condensed list. So please make sure you check it out in our Orange High School list of all of our clubs. We also have a plethora of athletics at Orange High School, from basketball, wrestling, baseball, track and field, soccer, and the list goes on. Mr. McCauley is our athletic director. You can reach out to him with any athletic related questions. Just to kind of keep in mind, when all students start school in August, every student is eligible to play a sport in the fall. Now, when you move from the fall to the spring semester, it's a little different. It's based on how many classes you pass. So you have to at least pass 3 of those 4 classes and have no more than 12 absences that fall semester. So definitely make sure if that's something you're passionate about and you want to play spring sport, just make sure that you're taking, you're doing doing your work, right? You're passing your classes, and that we're making sure you don't have too many absences, because that can impact your eligibility to play in the spring. We also have a very thriving band department at Orange High School. We have wind ensemble, percussion, jazz, and as you can see, we have a very vibrant, active color guard that goes along with our band. So if you're interested in that, please check out the band breakout room because they'll have a lot of information. They have their own website and a lot of important information on there as well. So one of the big difference from high school to middle school is that we have a smart lunch. We have an hour lunch, and that's a time for students to eat with friends. We know with the pandemic that really took a lot of the social aspects for our students, and so we brought it back this year. And our students have been loving it. They got to connect with friends, they got to participate in clubs, meet with teachers, get tutoring support. So that's a really big difference from middle to high school. We also have 4 classes in the fall and 4 classes in the spring. So we have a fall and spring semester. Our school's day starts at 9 and ends at 4:15. And then just to let you know, you do have homework. So there will be homework for students. And so it's important to make sure you're keeping track of your assignments and due dates. If you need help with planning and organization, I tell students don't wait till you get to high school to start doing that. Make sure that you start getting an organization system in place now while you're in middle school. So you're ready to go and you have a system that works for you when you start high school in August. This is a sample of our daily schedule. Our classes are 90 minutes. Students take 4 classes in the fall and 4 classes in the spring. 2 of those classes are core classes, and then we balance those out with 2 electives. And the reason why we balance those out is because we don't like for students to have too much academic content. It can be a little overwhelming in one semester. So we have 2 core classes in the fall with 2 electives, and then 2 core classes in the spring with 2 electives. Now, freshman year, every student has to take health and PE. It's a requirement to graduate. So that's why you see on the spring schedule, it takes up an elective space. In North Carolina, you need 28 credits to graduate. 4 of those are going to be English, math, and then you have science. You have 4 classes in history, 1 in health and PE, and then 12 free electives. Now, out of those free electives, 2 of those would possibly be your world language if you're thinking about applying to a 4-year college. It's very important that some students say, do I really have to take a world language? And I say, if you're thinking about going to college, I would definitely take a world language. We have a very active world languages department. They have done some study abroads as well in the past. So I'm hoping that they can get back to that this school year. If you're interested in that or learning more about that, please make sure you check out their breakout room. Now on to course registration. So course registration, as you will see in the chat box, we have the breakout rooms, and then we have a link for the 9th grade registration /website. So that's where all of the information on how to register. Where is the course guide? The course guide is just a list of classes that a freshman can sign up for. That's very important. You want to download that document so you can look over it. The middle school counselors will be going over that information with their students as well. I have a presentation and I'll have a session with the middle school as well. We'll be able to answer any questions or help them with the registration process. It's pretty easy. Students just log into PowerSchool and they pick their classes based on their interests and also their recommendations from their teachers. Just to keep in mind that registration will open up February 24th and it will close March 17th. So if you sign up for classes on February 24th because you're very eager and you're like, yes, I know I want to do this, but then by March 1st, you're like, no, I want to change that elective. You can go into PowerSchool and change it, but after March 17th, it will close. We will have an opportunity in April, May, where we'll send out the classes you signed up for. You'll have a time at that time to kind of make a change. But we definitely like for students to pick classes they're interested in because we build our schedule based on those interests. So just to tell you how it happens in August is some students come and they signed up for anything and everything online. And then they get to school in August and they say, I don't like any of these classes. I don't know why I signed up for them. And they're like, oh, we don't have really anywhere else to put you because we build our schedule on those interests. So it's very important, parents, that you talk with your student about those classes. Teachers and the middle school counselors, we're all working together as a team to help advise students and help them pick out the classes that best fit them. So how can parents help out, right? You want to help your student be successful at Orange High School. Most importantly, talk to them about the registration process. That registration website that I've given you has a lot of information on that. Check it out. It has videos, it has information, it has FAQs on there. Communicate with their teachers, right? If you feel like, hey, my student, it was recommended to take a foundations, right? A foundations for English. talk with their English teacher about it so that you can better be informed of why your student was recommended for that class. And then also understand that, hey, if I got a recommendation, I don't agree with it, or I need to find more about it, it just gives you more information on how to best support your student when they're at Orange High School, because we want to make sure that they're placed in classes that really are a good fit for them. And also too, if you are really strong in a subject area and you may have not gotten a recommendation for it, you can still sign up for an honors level class. But I always tell students, check out the registration newsletter, because it tells you what the guidelines are, what teachers are going to be looking for, what the rigor is. And so when they look over that and they understand, hey, it's going to have homework, I'm going to be expected to do all these things, then they're like, hey, I want to do that, or I may want to wait a semester. So we definitely advise students to make sure that you really read the information about honors recommendation, really understand what that requires of you. And we definitely have a very supportive staff at Orange High School. Is going to help you be successful here, because we believe in you. We want every student to be successful in the classes they signed up for. So it's very important. Also too, when you're in high school, you have that transcript, which has all those grades. So we want students to pick classes wisely, because when I have to meet with students to kind of clean up the transcript because we've taken some classes and didn't pass some classes, that's always a hard conversation. So we really like for parent support in that. We partner together. You can reach out to me, to the middle school counselor, or to teachers, and we're here to support you. You can also sign up for our Parent Assist Network. We also have a OHS phone app as well. And then most importantly, parents, just make sure that you're providing a time for students to study at home. So we have time built into our school day for tutoring, but students are definitely going to need some time outside of school just to kind of practice and also have that space to continue the learning, right? And then encourage students to have a well-rounded experience in high school by participating in clubs, sports, and athletics. I will have to tell you that this is a great time to be to be a high school student, because when I was in high school, we didn't have all the opportunities with the college classes and a lot of these cool things and hands-on experiences. It just wasn't that way back then. So I think it's a really cool time to be a high school student. I know we've had the challenges with the pandemic, but we're recovering from that. And we have so much of support at Orange High School in clubs and activities and sports and teachers and staff and administration that is here to support your student to be successful. So we appreciate parent support, parents partnering with us to make every student successful at Orange High School. Last but not least, welcome to the O family. We're so happy that you guys are in middle school, but you're going to be coming to us in a couple of months. We're happy that you are going to be part of the O family. And at 6:30, so we have about 5 minutes. I'll stay in this room for the next 10 minutes if you have general questions for me for the counseling office, or if you want to go ahead and jump into your breakout room at 6:30, please do so. Thank you, family, for participating. We appreciate that. And I'm going to end the presentation so I can be able to answer questions. Okay, so I think I'm going to look at the chat box and just answer some of those questions. So we do have the course description of classes is going to be in that registration newsletter. So if you click on that newsletter, there will be a link on there to look up course descriptions. Let me see. I'm going to see if I can scroll back up. Okay. Abby Washington. So Abby Washington, I'm going to unmute you because I know you asked to, I'm not sure how to. Oh, I'm sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. You answered it. I just asked if there was a list of electives that we could choose from, and you said that it would be in the newsletter, correct?
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and share the screen with you guys now so you can just kind of see it. So let me go to that screen. Okay, there we go. All right, so this is our registration rising ninth graders. So if you scroll down, it gives you a registration resources, and we have our course guide is on there. So this is a course guide. The quick thing to do is to hit Control Find because it is a big document, and just enter in the title. And I do recommend that you do look up the course descriptions because some classes may seem like they are what they are, but they're different. And you'll see that once you start looking at those descriptions. Okay, so I'll answer another question. Okay, so someone asked, how does it work if you take 2-year-long classes? So if you take a foundations class and a foundations class for math. So that's a great question. So one thing I tell parents, because when they hear foundations, they're like, what, why is my kid, asked to take a foundations class? And I tell parents, don't be alarmed by that. It's not going to look bad on their transcript. If your student is needing that additional support, by all means, please take that foundation class. Because as you know, math 1, 2, 3, 4 build on math 1, 2, and 3, right? So we want to make sure that they have that strong foundation. That's why that's called that foundations of math 1. And so I see students that, may have needed to be in the foundations, but didn't sign up for it and really struggled and didn't pass the English 1 or the math 1. So I really recommend you talk to that teacher if your student is, you feel like they're not as strong as they could be, and may need to support a foundation. Definitely talk with their current English or math teacher about the foundations class. But if they are recommended for it, talk with them about it. Say, hi, why was my student recommended for foundations? And if it's something that the teacher feels and you as a parent feel like they need the support, definitely by all means, it's a great class. It really helps support them. They still get electives for all the classes they take at Orange High School, either they be a foundations or anything else. So each class at Orange High School holds one credit. I'm sorry, not elective, but 1 credit. So if you take foundations, you'll get, and you pass, and you get 1 credit from foundations. It just takes up one of those free electives for your student to take. So they want to have as many electives because foundations of math 1 and the English foundations will take up 2 of those elective spaces. Okay, so I believe, I think, okay, so the middle school, so I think this is to a parent. They said that their student received a Google form to fill out their course regarding their elections. Will she need to do this again on February 24th? Yes. So the middle school counselors work with your students as well in helping them pick out their classes. So they have their own planning document that they use with your students. But that is not the registration. That's not how you register. That just helps you plan. So it's 2 separate things that's going on. So definitely make sure that you, on February 24th, your student signs up for their classes. Now, if your student signs up on the February 24th or they don't sign up on February 24th and they sign up on March 17th, we don't prioritize on who signs up. So you don't feel like you have to wake up at 12 a.m. February 24th to sign up to get in. It's not like college. We just want to make sure they have it in by the 17th. Great. And I'm trying to go through this for everyone. There's no link for athletics. Yes, so I know, Abby, did you have a question about athletics? Can you, Mrs. Williamson, can you unmute Abby? Because I can't see. All right, so. Okay, so typically, I'm not sure what particular question you have about athletics, but usually the most question asked is, will they be able to play sports? So all freshmen in the fall are eligible to play sports. It's when we move from the fall to the spring semester, it's based on if they pass 3 out of 4 classes and if they have no more than 12 absences. So that's usually the, that's the common question parents ask. So would volleyball start the first couple of weeks of school? I would email Mr. Macaulay that question. I know they have also athletic page on that. I know we have a lot of sports at Orange High School, so they have different dates, but definitely reach out to him with that question, and he should be more than happy to help you with that. I know that I know football has a summer camp, so definitely make sure if you have a question, your student is playing a fall sport, just check with our athletics director to make sure they don't have a camp over the summer. Same thing for cheerleading. I believe there's a tryout in the summer as well. Okay, so I think I'm going through the questions. And Abby, oh, there you are. Okay, I'm going to ask to unmute you, and then you can ask us your question.
I think she requested not to be unmuted in the chat.
Oh, okay, okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Okay,
no problem.
thank you.
I just put Macaulay's email address in the chat. There was a request for that.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share the back up the newsletter. And if you guys have any questions, please let me know, because I'm going to head out we have a Spanish session that's going to be starting at 7. So I'm going to coordinate with them in a couple of minutes. So if you have a question for me, please don't hesitate to put it in the chat box, or you can send me an email. Okay, so I see someone said, can you try to recap the beginning? Yeah, so Mr. Dillard, thank you so much for coming in. So I can show you our presentation from the beginning. We also did a recording. So if you want to watch this at another time, I will post that video so you can watch that too. But in the beginning of the presentation, we just did a welcome from administration from the counseling office. And then we went into academics and honors classes at AP classes. All that information is on our newsletter. So if you have a student that is interested in taking honors or AP classes, I highly recommend they check out that information on that website, because it's going to have the guidelines. It's going to give you kind of what they're looking for, the rigor, the expectations. And then we went into into highlights of Orange High School. So that was our engineering academy and our ag department. We get a lot of those questions from parents. And so we have a very competitive FFA program at Orange High School. They have run top state awards in forestry, horse judging, public speaking, livestock judging, and creed speaking. And then we have our engineering academy, which is really outcome-based, hands-on projects. And so definitely, I just wanted to give you a quick, that was about 7 slides in, so I feel like that probably was the beginning. But definitely make sure you check out the recorded video in case we missed the welcome. And so you can get all that information at that time. Right. Okay. All right, so we have about 2 minutes until I have to jump on to getting ready for our Spanish session. And so I'll be talking at that point. So unfortunately, I'm not able to stay on very much longer, but if you do have a question to me, please put it in the chat box, or you can reach out to me by email, or you definitely can reach out to the middle school counselor. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating tonight. We're happy that you are here, and we're looking forward to working with you and your student at Orange High School. All right. So I think this will be the last question before I head out. Is someone asked is how to register for classes. So that is going to be next week. Presentations have started today at the middle school and also following into next week. We also have the Registration Rising newsletter. It has all the steps on how to register online. And so that's probably going to be the most informative way to get you that information. Just make sure that you bookmark that website, and I can share it with you right before I leave. And thank you guys so much once again for participating tonight. We appreciate your time. Okay, well, thank you so much, everyone, for your time. I'm going to go ahead and close the meeting for everyone so we can go ahead and get prepared for the next meeting. Once again, thank you for your time. We appreciate you. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us, and have a wonderful night.